Welcome back. You're watching Live from Paris on France 24. It's time now to find out what's happening in the French press and on the web with James Creedon. It's time for Media Watch France. James, we're going to start with a strange request made by the French police, and a lot of people are worried about this.
That's right. This is pretty extraordinary stuff. They're known as the Organised Crime Bureau, I suppose, in France, the BAC, the Brigade Anticriminalité. Now, one of their policing unions has said, we need pump-action shotguns when we're going into the banlieue, the kind of tough neighbourhoods around Paris. You know, we need to be armed to the hilt. Now, a lot of people are saying, what?
Shotguns with real bullets?
Shotguns with real bullets, sort of just assault-type shotguns. And a lot of people are saying, what? You know, community policing? Well, it's not community policing, they're the Organised Crime Bureau at the same time, but do they really need to be armed to that extent? It's shocked a lot of people in the French public. But what the police are saying is, look, hold on a minute, you know, we're dealing with a lot of people who have Kalashnikovs. A lot of these brigands and, well, you know, criminals are very, very well armed now in certain difficult parts of the Paris suburbs. So, you know, we need to be equally well armed. Now, so it has generated a lot of controversy, but what's interesting is this comes just days after this article in the Rue 89 website. Now, this was one of the most retweeted articles that I saw this past weekend. It's an interview with a guy called Didier Fassin. Now, he conducted a 15-month study into the methods and the various means of working of this BAC, this particular organised crime bureau, and it shows that really they have a very flawed way of doing business. It says that most of what they do is, you know, is generated by pressure to make statistics. Sarkozy is often criticised for that as well when he was Interior Minister. They call it la politique du chiffre, you know, getting the statistics up there, arresting people just to make the figures look good for the politicians, exactly. And often, you know, they're saying that they descend on a few brigands with disproportionate force, like 12 police cars pulling up for, you know, maybe a couple of people who have been up to no good. So they create more antagonism and more upset in the community than they actually resolve, creating more problems than they resolve. This guy's a doctor and a sociologist, and the study has been massively quoted in the press saying, look, you know, we have problems with our policing methods.
And it's pretty similar to questions being asked in the UK right now following the riots earlier this year.
That's
Again,
right.
The police were blamed for heavy-handedness,
That's
weren't they?
right. I was actually going to just show a Guardian article which was talking about this. That's not the right page. Here it is. Reading the riots. Rioters say anger with police fuelled summer unrest. And that is indeed one of the conclusions of a Guardian and London School of Economics study, saying a lot of people took to the streets in August because they were so angry with what they consider to be police brutality. So it's a big topic today. Should policemen be armed to the hilt with, you know, pump-action shotguns, as they're saying here, or should they not?
All right. OK, let's move on to our next, because the former French foreign minister, forget that, right? A lot of F's in there. Bernard Kouchner, he's been losing his rag with journalists again, hasn't he?
Again, that's right. Now, this was on France Info, one of the talk radio stations here in France this morning. Basically, he's been doing consultancy work in Guinea, an African country, since he left the foreign ministry last year. Now, so he's actually very friendly with the president of Guinea, a guy called Alpha Condé. They were in lycée together, can you believe that, about 50 years ago. In any case, the journalist said, hold on, when you're in Guinea, you're being driven around in the president's fleet of cars, you're staying at a very, you know, a well-known French businessman's residence. There's all sorts of stuff going on here. Is this not inappropriate behaviour for a former minister to be using his political clout to be, you know, doing business?
He's not a minister right now, we should say.
That's right, he's not a minister right now, but these are the kind of questions that were being put to him. Now, let's have a listen to how he responded. It's not actually voiced over, but you can hear it in the tone of voice, and I'll explain as we go along. Okay. So let's have a listen to what he said.
Monsieur, je n'aime pas votre façon de poser les questions. Conseiller officieux, ça fait barbouze. Je suis pas une barbouze, je suis bénévole, je suis pas payé, et je suis avec mon copain. C'est clair? Je fais des conférences quand on m'invite à travers le monde. Certaines sont gratuites, d'autres ne le sont pas. Comme bien des gens, tout le monde. D'accord, monsieur l'inquisiteur?
Des conneries! Qu'est-ce que j'ai besoin d'un bureau? Puisque je travaille au ministère de la Santé, avec le ministère de la Santé. J'étais sûr que vous en viendrez là. Allez, barrez-vous.
Oh, he doesn't sound very happy about
No,
that at
he's
all.
not.
He literally said, get out.
He said, get out. He said, get out. Now, what a lot of people are saying, which what you were just saying now, Laura, is that this isn't the first time. One of the blogs on the Le Monde website says that this happened where? At France 24, back in 2008, there was a guy working on the French channel at the time, Ulysse Gosset. basically he was doing a big interview with the then foreign minister. There was a report, a profile of Kushner in the show. Kushner did not like how he was being portrayed. They showed him with a sack of rice. Yeah, they showed him with a sack of rice over his shoulder, and he hates being sort of reduced to somebody who was, this is when he was doing humanitarian work. In any case, in the middle of the show, he took out his earpiece and he said, "I'm out of here. This is a disgraceful portrayal of me," and he left. They're also talking in Le Monde about the ambassadors conference in 2008 when a Le Monde journalist was taken out of the conference by 2 heavy police officers. She was removed because Kushner didn't like her. So he's had a very testy relationship in the past with journalists.
Okay, now of course Bernard Kouchner was a socialist, wasn't he? But he switched to serve under Nicolas Sarkozy in the right-leaning government. But another former socialist who's come to do the same thing and work for Sarkozy is Eric Besson.
That's right.
And he's gone a little bit more right-wing than, hasn't he?
He has indeed. He was a socialist, and then he became the hardline immigration minister, and was sort of he really has. And in any case, now he's the industry minister, and he doesn't like the portfolio at all. He on a TV show this week, he said, "I'm so happy to have been a part of this government for 5 years, but this current ministry is not cool." He actually said that in French. C'est pas cool. C'est pas cool. It's not very ministerial language. Anyway, the thing is, it looks now like there's a lot of rumours that he's going to leave government, he's going to leave politics, and what's he going to do? He's going to go down to Nice in the sunny south of France to take over a football club called OGC Nice. So from being industry minister to running a kind of a local football club down in the south of France, it's a bit of a jump.
Not?
And apparently Nicolas Sarkozy is not happy with him at all. This could be one of the reasons why he might leave to become a football, because he's tweeting all day long. Apparently he tweets on average between 24 and 40 times a day. Now a tweet actually, especially if you're doing it on your phone, it takes a bit of time. You're typing it in, you're trying to think
like
of something.
One of those people who's never really listening to you, just constantly on their phone like this.
And you have to come up with something snappy as well, unless you're just retweeting people. So Sarkozy's been saying, actually, and this has been leaked, what the hell is the guy doing? Is he working at all? He's just tweeting all day. So the answer could be
find a lot more work on his plate, perhaps. All right. James Creedon, that's it for Media Watch. Many thanks indeed. Time now for our daily dose of what's going on the internet. Our web desk have been finding out, and they've brought you this. It's Web News.